So, one of the surprising realities of this life in Jesus is what can distract us from Jesus? What can be Jesus' competition, so to speak? And one of the most surprising things that we find that can be Jesus' competition is in a story in Luke chapter 10, where a wonderful woman with gifts of hospitality named Martha opened her home to Jesus to host him. She became extremely frustrated with both Jesus and her sister Mary. What was so frustrating to her that she got angry at Jesus? This is what she said: "Tell her to help me. I'm left here to do all the work by myself, and you don't seem to care." That's the attitude she had. And this was Jesus' response: "Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is necessary, and that's what Mary's chosen, and I'm not going to tell her to stop doing that. No one can take it from her, the one thing she's chosen." What has distracted Martha from loving Jesus? Serving Jesus. Did you think that was going to be a problem you might fall into as a Christian? Our understanding, we're not called to lean on our understanding and do it our way. We're not called to do our will, our way, in our timing and in our strength. We're called to do His will. And what's His will? Well, you can list thousands of things as His will, and they'll all be biblical. But Jesus says they're not all equally important. In fact, by a long shot, there's only one thing that's really necessary. And if you get that right, the other stuff's going to tumble out in the right order because it'll be done by God flowing through you. And it's the one thing that's necessary is sitting with Jesus, listening to Jesus, adoring Jesus, looking into His face. David called it as one thing. He said, "One thing I ask." Psalm 27:4. That same one thing I'm going to seek. And it's to dwell in your house all my days. And I want to gaze on your beauty and inquire of you in your sanctuary. All the beauty in my life flows from knowing you. That's the same heart that Mary found. Pastors get busy and get to work doing what they think they should be doing to serve God and to help people. The next thing you know, they're burnt out, frustrated, and don't have what it takes. They're not healthy in their hearts. They're not vibrant. They're not young at heart. They're not happy. They're not hopeful. They're not refreshed. They're not energized. They're cynical. They're beat down. They're worn out. They're confused. They're upside down, and they're having a crisis. And it all came from one thing. They didn't sit with Jesus and listen to what He had to say. They let serving Him take the place of walking closely with Him, knowing Him, and loving Him. Those who abide with Jesus and listen to what He's saying will actually get His will done in His way. They'll get more done in less time with less stress. So this is not about praying versus serving. This is about doing His will. And the way to do His will is to abide with Him and do it by His Spirit, which means in partnership with Him, cooperation with Him. We don't need a bumper sticker that says Jesus is coming soon. Look busy. We don't want to just make a whole bunch of sandwiches Jesus never ordered and doesn't even like because they're what we thought He wanted. Wouldn't it be better instead to know for a fact that we're doing what we're doing out of a deep, intimate love relationship with Him, where the beauty of who He is fueling us, that we're being pulled along by His beauty, not pushed along and not pushing others along. You become a real problem. Lots of well-intended Christians serving in the power of their flesh with crusading anger and crusading sense of moral outrage. That's more damaging to people and more damaging to the cause of Christ than somebody not even trying to serve God, but just in sin by themselves at home. The question is not, will we serve Jesus? The question is, will we serve Jesus out of intimacy with Jesus, or will we serve Him out of the power of the flesh and with all that frustration in place?